Well, this is actually really bad. Really fucking bad, actually. Worse than You Must Die.exe bad. Who knew that the worst pasta I'd ever read is in a category that isn't video games? Don't believe me? Here, I'll show you the goddamn pasta right now. I'm going to break down the first part of the pasta to you until we get to the actual video. Okay. A guy that is a Beatles fan goes into a store, sees the lost episode of the Beatles, goes to the store clerk and says, "Hey, how much is this?" And he said, "That's not for sale, kid. It will give you nightmares." I know it did for me. And he's like, "Please?" And they say, "Oh, okay, you can have it." And then he was so fucking happy that he went home and shoved the tape right up the VHS's ass. Okay. We got that out of the fucking way. Let's take a look at the fucking video itself. The beginning had someone screaming in agony. He probably realized he was in the pasta, so yeah, he did what he would do. Although he was really scared until the title screen, which he described as, "It was like unusual." What in the name of everything that is holy and unholy does that mean? Was the beginning of the episode unusual quality? Well, let me know when you get a fucking strange or genuine version. Then I'll give you 3 keys for it. The episode was called Because, which you assumed had something to do with the song Because. But the episode is responding to your question, which was, "Leather, why is this pasta so bad?" And the pasta answers with, "Because." And then it gives you the rest of the pasta. Makes sense, right? Okay, then the cartoon played and something was wrong. It was totally different from the original style. It looked similar to the original, but it was darker. So really it wasn't totally different from the original. It was just slightly different. Okay, so the band started talking about a CD they found on the street. Everything's just fine, as long as it isn't You Must Die.exe. So it then showed John putting on the earphones, trying to listen to it, but then it happens. What the fuck does it mean? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the Addams Family. John looked like he had blacked out, as if he was staring into space, desperately looking for something in this pasta that is remotely good. Unfortunately, he failed and started tripping balls. You can tell because his eyes were turning into LSD acid trip colors. Yeah, that's what it says. So yeah, LSD acid trip colors. New color. Let's use it for the new cathedral then. Okay, so after 10 seconds of that shit, a picture appeared for a flash second, which is really fucking unoriginal. And it was a guy holding a ventriloquist dummy, and he had no mouth, but instead there was just blood there, and his dummy looked like he was trying too hard to be in a creepypasta picture. So after Ringo asked him if the sounds from that CD inserted some kind of drugs through his ears somehow, John says, "Seeing is not believing. Seeing is killing." So okay, so if I look at someone, will they instantly die? If that was the case, we'd all be dead by now. So then he got his consciousness back, which is confusing considering he just talked, and then he said, I'm okay. I'm okay. Can you tell me what time it is? So yeah, he's fine. And then George told him the time and it cut to black. Stupid enough. And then blood poured down the screen. Of course! Why wouldn't it do that? It was apparently so real that if you were to touch the screen, you would get blood on your fingers. What? So then it cuts back to the Beatles running away from some fangirls, but of course have a scene with people moving in one direction long enough and things start getting fucked, as proven by Suicide Mouse. For you see, the girls started bleeding out of their eyes, they had no teeth, and they were blood coming out of the mouth too. I would say that they looked just kinda zalgified, but the pasta tells me that already. Seriously, look. Never give an example from another pasta. It doesn't work. It just tells the readers they could be looking at some awesome Zalgo pictures instead of reading this shit. So after some time, the Beatles looked back and all the fans were burned to a crisp. Looks like Willow was in town that day. Why do I keep using indie game jokes? Paul then properly asked what the fuck just happened, to which Ringo replies to him by vomiting blood and shit. But when the guy paused the video and looked closely, he could see Hitler's face in the vomit. I had to check 5 times to see if this wasn't a troll pasta. No, it wasn't. It is supposed to be taken seriously. Yeah, let's just ignore that part like it's the plague and move on. John then said to Paul, "Don't worry about it." And which Paul replied saying that they were human beings that were turned into ashes in mere milliseconds, in which John said, "I don't give a 4 stars!" Really? We need censors for cursing now? Pastas can have blood, acid trips, and Hitler, but saying the F word is taking it too far. So then a guy was about to jump away from some falling rubble from a building, but then John pushed him back and crushed the guy. Why the hell is John such an asshole in this pasta? I don't know. It just kind of just there to insult him. Boo. Oh, but don't worry. This is all building up to a twist that is so stupid only a 5-year-old would think of it. In fact, I think 5-year-old would also find this really stupid, so yeah, let's move on. Realistic blood and brain matter scattered everywhere, and so preventing random citizens from walking into danger areas during building demolition was now invented. Then after John gives a look that says, hey, I am evil in this pasta, therefore insulting the real John because the writer of this shit is retarded. A gun shoots the screen into black and fades into the guy at the recording studio. Then there was a mumbling that you could hear that said, I shouldn't have done that. They will know soon. My guess is that was a writer hoping I'll never find this pasta and review it. Too late. So after the writer showcased some shotguns, it cuts to Ringo, Paul, and George knocking on John's door. They knocked down a door and found a giant safe that wasn't even locked, which probably costed thousands of dollars and didn't even do its job. Good work, John. When they opened it, they found out that John was a Satanist. Well, that's not insulting at all, now is it? There was a dead woman with a pentagram carved on her back and her eyes were gorged out. I heard of gogged out, but gorged out? There were dead animals, so I'm guessing he was a fan of the level of Sonic.exe. There was a fan-made Necronomicon. Well, that just sounds fucking retarded. If he was a saint instead of a Satanist, would he make some kind of fan-made Bible or something? That would actually be a decent twist. And there was a goat's skull on a pentagram. Damn, I wish Isaac had this much pentagrams. You know how much runs would be easier? And by the way, you're supposed to have a lamb skull, otherwise it doesn't count. I think. George passed out, Paul choked back vomit, and Ringo started crying in a Squidward suicide way. 'Cause he found out that that was actually his fiancée that's dead there. Yeah. He didn't even know he had one, but he was quickly distracted by girls screaming, so then John was standing in front of the sunset as he gave us a mad look and a constantly moving mouth. Fuck, John turned into an HMW model. Yup, you guessed it, it was pointless. So then he instantly hangs himself. For some unexplained reason. Then it cuts to Paul's face, and it is sad. Oh my god, that was the worst pasta I've ever read in my phone. But then the scary part happens. Wait, what? There's more? Are you fucking me? Why would... Okay, so the writer claims that this is the scary part, which I'm sure is absolutely terrifying. Without warning, Paul appeared to have hyperrealistic eyes, which is a term I still don't fucking get. And then pictures started appearing on the screen. There was a picture of a hand holding a gun, rather than a foot, I guess, and the gun fired at a boy's head, which I'm guessing is the lost episode of Dennis the Menace. Then there was a fish looking at a bloody couple. No reason, really. A fish is just looking at two people in their period. Next scene. Then there was a dead town with dead people, which kind of looked like it was Vietnam. I don't get it. This pasta's already a disaster. Why do you have to showcase all this shit? Then there were 6 undertakers with 7 coffins. And one of them there was a child, and another one of them was Dracula trying to get out. Then the slideshow ended, and it got back to John's hyper face, and then the same voice that told Squidward suicide to kill himself, and also told Paul to kill himself. Then a pistol appeared in Paul's head. So he'll need surgery if he wants that out of his cranium. So after the surgery, that I'm sure was done in Surgeon Simulator 2013, he gets his gun back and he shoots himself. The capsule of the bullet for some reason said, "Your life was already over, Paul." And no, it wasn't, because he only died when he shot himself. And did the bullet really expect Paul to read its capsule while it gone through his head? So George kills himself the exact same way John did, but it actually tricks your ass, and he just shoots himself on the fucking ledge. Well, that's fucking retarded. The gun in that one said, no, it takes 2 bullets to kill 2 Beatles. Okay, 1, I didn't think guns can write, and 2, what? Then Ringo was in a hospital getting cured for shitmemia or something. He took the picture of his fiancée and his ring and died. That's actually kind of touching. But unfortunately, I am a male human being, so I cannot be sad at things. I have man things to do, like work at construction sites and play football and shit like that. Then the final scene is of a cave hallway that seems to play generic creepypasta sounds. So it was actually a hallway of a prison. What a twist, huh? It's like you didn't even fucking notice it. And every time the light bulb swung, it showed a hooded figure that was actually John. What? And behind him were guards and prisoners that had holes in them. Sally.exe, eat your heart out. And behind John was Mark David Chapman? What is with these historical figures? Was the writer angry at his history teacher and decided to put famous history people into this shitfest? Then evil John and the others started walking towards the camera. And then you'd think they'd do the thriller, but no. In that case, it would have at least one scene that is good. The more they watched, the more they started menstruating. Well, that's the only thing I can conclude. And John slowly turned into a snake. Well, that's the second reference to a drug PSA I've ever seen in these lost episodes. And then it ended. So when he rewinded back to the title screen, it actually said, because John is dead. Spoilers? And then the VCR went on fire. Good! The only thing that was destroyed was the tape. When he brought it back to the guy who gave it to him, he just threw it away. Yup, he just threw it away like it's fucking bubblegum wrap or something. Then as a guy was going somewhere, he saw 6 policemen take out some idiots that have been using drugs. Then they brought out stuff that was used for making cartoons. And it looked like it was the Beatles cartoon thing. So the cartoon was made while they were high. How long was that acid trip? You know how long it would take them to make a cartoon like that? Hours! Believe me, I know. So after he said that he saw the tape, he was awarded $200. Sure, that's nice, but now we will never forget this fucking stupid pasta and how fucking insulting it is to the real John, as it is constantly stressed throughout this entire thing. Oh, and the tape appeared in his house again, and it said, you shouldn't have watched that. Well, jibbity Jesus, that must have been written by Ben's brother that is currently possessing video cassettes, and he is called Mike. And then the writer said goodbye and see you later. Okay, I'll see you later at your house where I'll fucking shit on that tape you got. Jesus on a stick? That was fucking bad. And before you do anything, do not touch it. I don't care. Don't fix anything. Don't edit anything. Don't delete anything. We need this glowing shit of an example. We just need it to see what not to do in creepypastas. I don't care. You can put it on the Trollpasta wiki under the tags supposed to be serious but failed. I don't care. It needs to be whole. Nobody fix anything. Well, okay, I'm instantly calm now. Guess I'll go review something else next time. Bye?